Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic back again, and once again I'm joined by Andrew and Ross because we're here for a Pitches video. We've got another beer.
Yes. We've been sat here for the last 2 days, eagerly awaiting this video to get started. We're all in the same clothes. We'll have a second beer.
Yeah.
Ready,
no, we're not downing it, are we? Are we downing it again?
It's hard.
I don't want to do it. I want to do it again.
Just felt better.
I want to sip this one. Oh.
Oh my God, that went down the wrong way for a second there. He done it.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Oh, he's done it.
Man got two.
Hear the noise of he's drinking very loud.
I thought I started this video.
Content.
I don't want to do it, lads. I'm sorry. I'm going to get pelters in the comments for that. But
No pressure. No pressure. Enjoy your beer.
What's your gullet made out of?
I don't know.
Yorkshire.
Just Yorkshire.
Steel then, therefore.
Yorkshire Steel.
We're back for another Pitches video for WWE in 2022. Now, if you saw our last one on AEW, you'll know that these take more of a thematic feel, but there are some specific storylines if we want to as well. Andrew did a marvellous one in the last video, I must say. I need a burp as well.
I did 3 marvellous ones.
Yeah. Ross did 3
did,
marvellous
didn't
ones.
you? You got 3 yeses.
I did, yeah.
I did 2 and got a no. Oh, it's fine.
Well, just in case you missed it, he pitched Cody Rhodes to win the title of Hangman Page.
But it made sense. But it
Did
made
it?
sense. Yes, of course it did. Anyway, this is about WWE, though. And we're going to be talking about our 9 pitches for WWE in the year 2020, going around in a circle. Ross, what did I say?
2020?
2022.
Whoa.
Gone back in time. 2022, we're going around in a circle. Ross, Andrew, then myself 3 times, and that'll leave us with 9 lovely pitches. But it's not what we think's going to happen. It's what we want to happen. Ross, your first pitch, please.
Now, it's easy for me to sit here. Excuse me.
Oh my God.
It's easy for me to sit here and say this to WWE when I'm not. It's not when I'm not employed by WWE and don't work for WWE. But the title of this one is "Stop Putting Your Bank Account
Oh my God, a demon's just coming out of it.
Ahead of the quality of your show." You don't have a burp and it gets trapped. And you have to try and go get it out.
Just
That's
the
what that
start of the
was.
set. Now, my pitch is...
Stop putting your bank account ahead of the quality of your show. As I say, it's easy for me to sit here and say this, but as a viewer and as a fan, as a consumer of your product, it ruins it, quite frankly. I'm thinking of Pizza Hut Battle Royal. That's a lesser example. Or a higher example, we have golden egg bollocks. We have zombie bollocks and other assorted bollockses.
Yeah.
No, I might as well spout this out there, but there's a hack theory on my part that somebody is setting up these deals. Let's assume it's old, not Tony Khan. Nick Khan is not related at all, is he? Nick Khan, just got the same name. He's setting up all these deals and bring them to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon doesn't want to do them, but Vince McMahon begrudgingly likes money, so is doing them. Because I'm thinking of the story that came out to do with the Golden Egg at Survivor Series. Apparently, the original plans for that was to have it in the 24/7 title picture because Vince thought for what it was, a silly golden egg. But they were like, no!
Yeah, The Rock wasn't
Paying
having
you
that.
money. Lots of money. Let's have it higher up the card. So I've taken from that Vince could leave these, but he likes money. But he could leave them. And I'm going to latch myself onto that hopeful bit of the conundrum. So I guess this is a question of how much money is too much money for WWE.
Ooh.
How much money is too much money for WWE? Can you have too much money? No. Can you have enough money? Yes, you can. And I reckon they get enough money from the TV deals, the Saudi deal, the sponsorship deals like Red Notice and stuff like that. But I guess they would maybe go down a bit in price because you're not getting, for example, golden eggs or zombies ruining your pay-per-views. You've got your Peacock things, you've got your network things, you've got your merchandise things, you've got all the other revenue streams that WWE have. YouTube, I assume they make a fair, pretty penny from that as well. So how much money is too much money, Vince McMahon?
Oh.
A question directly to Vince McMahon right there. Wow.
Just get by on enough. Enough is fine.
Vince doesn't need to keep making all this money.
No, he doesn't.
Especially when they come out every quarter and say, record profit margin. Well done.
You
But
release 50 wrestlers a year this year.
Yeah.
Ah, you make up the difference in your money there, you knobhead.
Whoa.
Aye.
And why don't
Go
you...
on.
Aye, go on. And also, I feel like, just to add to your point, it's not just a case of, morals or when they're releasing people but making all this money. It's not just a case of that. It also it's less important, but it's still important as a fan. It also has a detrimental effect on the product. How much did that zombie thing dominate the show? Like everyone was just talking about the zombie thing. How much did the egg thing make us think The Rock was coming back at Survivor Series, and then he didn't? So
and then they got paid off in one day, and then that left me annoyed on our podcast. And then we found out the story about Vince McMahon won it in the 24/7 title picture a week after that. So in turn, you're making us look a bit silly, Vince McMahon.
That's the most important part as well, yeah. We don't want to look silly either because of your money-making ways. But yeah, no, were you finished with your pitch? Sorry.
I'm finished, yes.
It was a yes from me then. There we go. For the reasons I've just said.
Yeah, and a yes from me as well. It does diminish the product very much so. And I know, like, to some certain extent, WWE is aimed at a younger audience, and I can see why they include the zombie stuff and the egg stuff, but it's just so inconsequential that it genuinely just doesn't need to be a thing. And then you end up with these pay-per-views being more of an advertisement for something than actually about the stories and things like that as well. It really overtakes everything else.
Oh, the opening package for Survivor Series was more about Red Notice.
It was more about eggs and Red Notice than it was about the I mean, there wasn't
battle
really
for brand supremacy.
And I guess that might be the reason why, because there wasn't really that much story leading up to Survivor Series in the first place. Anyway, it was there.
But I'm not saying here that the WWE shouldn't try and make money through sponsorship deals, because they've done that historically. I remember Paul Heyman getting very passionate about a Snickers bar back in 2001.
Skittles!
Skittles,
JR, the Skittles.
Yeah.
JR was the Skittles one.
I'm sure Heyman was the Snickers one. But they can still do that, but just not have it dictate the product.
Yeah,
Please.
I agree.
I know.
Have the storyline dictate the product.
Because I guess that's the thing as well. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because of the wrestlers involved, the WWE wrestlers, and it does make sense to include stuff like that. Sorry, you okay?
I know you're a heavy man, but stop. The table's coming up at that
Oh, is
side.
it? Sorry,
That's what the noise-
I'm getting very passionate about
If you're
this.
hearing background rumbles, it's because the table's banging the other table.
I do apologize. And I've lost my train of thought now. It's gone completely from me. But yeah, I get that it is down to obviously the wrestlers involved, the wrestlers with WWE, and understandably they want to sort of advertise that as well. But at the same time, yeah, as you said, just don't let it dictate stuff, because then we end up just sighing and being sad for what wrestling has become, almost, you know?
It hasn't been used well. It'd be all right if it was used well.
Yeah,
so if, like,
definitely.
2021 being the most recent examples with the zombies and the golden egg. It hasn't been used well, has it?
No. I do hope they rein that back a bit.
Well, we're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
Andrew.
So my first pitch is Ross versus Vince McMahon. No, it's not. For
I'll take
2022. Yeah, I bet you would take him as well.
I'll just force feed him a burrito. Set that IBS
Because he
off.
doesn't know what burritos are, right?
No, just set the IBS off.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Thinking something stodgy, something meaty.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And he'd call it a meat wrap and embarrass himself.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
He did.
My
I
first...
shouldn't laugh at IBS. It's a
No,
horrible
it's
thing.
bad.
Yeah.
It is bad, yeah.
I feel bad about saying that now.
Well, but you'd beat him in a fight, though, I think.
Yeah, you would beat him in a fight.
I don't think I would.
Absolutely. No, you
He
would.
seems slap Austin Theory.
Oh.
I can't move that quick. Hiya!
What? You just proved you can't...
Whoa.
You can't move
Turns
that
out
fast.
Ross is a ninja.
He's a ninja.
Whoa.
My first pitch is to do with, and I've been saying it for a number of videos now, but what I want to do, I want to get it out there now so then I never have to say it again on a pitches video ever again, right?
Right.
And this is it. Xavier Woods wins the Rumble and goes on to face Big E at WrestleMania.
Oh, Big E at WrestleMania.
Big E at WrestleMania.
Not Roman Reigns at
No,
WrestleMania.
I've got a little thing. Oh,
Okay.
What's the storyline here, Andrew?
Let me tell you the storyline, boys. Are you ready?
Is it just a good old-fashioned, straight down the middle fight between two good friends to see who is the better man?
A
That is
Donnybrook?
true. Yes, that was pretty much it.
A melee down Donnybrook Lane?
A square go?
Yeah.
A tete-a-tete?
A tete-a-tete.
That's not even a fight, is it? What's a
tete-a-tete.
tete-a-tete?
Isn't that like a dance?
Dessert, isn't it?
A tete-a-tete.
It's a dance or a dessert.
It's
Okay,
like
well, why not?
a tete-a-tete.
Well,
Should I
you
just
carry
go
on
through
on.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been consistently great in all his matches this last year, and probably prior to that as well. He's been so good, and he's had time to really prove himself as a singles competitor with Big E on Raw. Kofi out of the picture for a little bit as well. He's recently come back, but
It's a short private conversation.
Ah, tete-a-tete. And after his King of the Ring win, it really feels like there's momentum behind Xavier, and it also feels like he knows there's something special that's happening around him at this current moment in time. So his crown's been shattered, but in the grand scheme of things, the crown really means very little because he's proven himself that he's the King of the Ring. He's proved that he proved that prior without the crown, but now with that win under his kingly belt. Why did I write that? Under his kingly belt, he's ready to aim for the real gold and prove that he deserves to hang with the greats. So with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville being meanies at the moment, they take this as a sign that Woods is like trying to insert himself into the main title picture without their consent. So they disagree with Woods being ready. You know, he failed to topple Roman Reigns and his crown's been stolen. He's every bit as unprepared as anyone else in that locker room that's moaning and complaining that they're ready. However, they aren't unfair people. So they say to him, win the Rumble from the number 1 position. That way, we'll really see if you're worthy of holding a title.
From the number 1?
From the number 1 position.
That's the second hardest position to win from in WWE.
I know, right?
2's harder.
It is.
Yeah.
That's very
Everyone
true.
says this, but
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Is that because you get a breather when you're number 1 after your entrance?
Yeah.
Number 1, you're in the ring first.
You get to like
They
soak up
they
all
enter
the
the ring.
sights, don't you? You composed by that point. Number 2 gets no chance.
Nah.
Because, oh my God, I just thought about it. Number 2 has to slide in the ring whilst number 1's already in
That's
the
what I
ring.
was
So
just-
number 1 can get
You're already in the ring.
advantage. Mental. Crazy. Anyway.
Distract him with a zombie or a
It is.
golden egg.
So, yeah. so Xavier does win. He wins the Royal Rumble.
Unless you're clever like Chris Jericho did in 2003
Yeah.
and got Christian to pose as him.
Oh,
And that's
my
one of
God.
my favourite Rumble
Yeah,
openings
that's really
ever.
good,
So
that.
good,
I
yeah.
forgot about that.
So good.
So Woods wins the Royal Rumble, and kind of like the trials of Kofi Kingston up to facing Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, Woods is put through the same ringer. You know, there's like gauntlet matches, handicap bouts, the whole lot, and Woods comes up short to Roman in the final stages of a gauntlet as the Usos help out their cousin. Roman beats down Xavier after the match, and he says he'll never be ready, which then makes way for Big E to run down to the ring and fight off the Bloodline. Big E turns to his friend, he picks him up, and he says, you are ready, you're more than ready. It's time for you to show the world what you can do. And Big E lifts his belt, and Woods nods in acknowledgement, and the two embrace, and the match is set. It's Big E and Xavier Woods at
They
WrestleMania.
sealed the match with a hug.
They sealed the match with a hug, they're ready to go.
Different.
They're best
Different.
mates, you know. Big E's
What's
like,
wrong
you
with
are
the
ready.
contract?
Huh?
What's wrong with the contract?
What's wrong with the contract signing? Because they all go, just like the last video, they all go nipples up, don't they? That's what happens.
Just say tits up.
Seal it with a hug.
Tits up.
Tits up.
Oh,
naughty.
scandalous.
Naughty.
It's like making someone swear who doesn't want to swear.
I know.
It's awful.
But it's because of YouTube. I'm scared of what YouTube
Oh, no, tits
does.
is fine.
Tits is okay.
I mean, the word.
You're all right, pal. Like I said, I've been saying it for so long in so many pictures videos now. I kind of just want it one and done out there. I really want Xavier Woods to win the Rumble and go on to face Big E at WrestleMania. I really, really do, because I think Xavier Woods has been one of the best things about WWE this last year, and I think he can continue to be one of the best things about WWE going forward as well. And it doesn't, I just feel like, I know there's always like feuds and stuff building up to all these title matches and things, but what about like just a huge look back at the history of these two people that have been together for so long, and then just like coming together for
think
just like
of
a
the
big
interviews.
Yeah.
The sit-down segments.
Yeah.
The childhood photographs.
The
Even though they've not known each other. They've not known each other since
No,
childhood. But still,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Like they come up together, they form this team together. It didn't do well to start with, and then they build this incredible thing in WWE that is beloved by everybody. And I think, to me, that's more compelling than Xavier Woods going on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Because we've seen that. I think someone else can go on to face Roman Reigns, you know?
Special guest referee Kofi Kingston. Bang!
Maybe I spoke too soon right there. But yeah, it's just something that I really want to see, and I really want to see them strap a rocket to Xavier Woods. After winning the King of the Ring, I think it should be more than just... I get into this a little bit more in a pitch down the way, but I think the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring should be more than just a crown.
Yes.
Like, it needs to mean something, and I think this would really just elevate him into the next level, as he deserves to be elevated into the next level, you know? So that's the pitch. That's, yeah.
How could I say no to that? What an impassioned,
Ross.
structured, and fabulous pitch.
Thank
It's a yes from me.
It's a no from me.
Oh, I could tell.
I
could
don't
tell.
like the fact, because in my mind, I just don't want to see it, quite frankly.
Okay, no, that's all right.
I'd rather see a New Day triple threat match taking place. I don't like the way that
Oh,
Kofi Kingston has been
yes.
swept to one side. It's the elder statesman of the New Day and the guy who paved the way, in a way, for this match to happen with
Yeah.
the Kofi Mania stuff. And that brings on to me second gripe with this pitch.
Oh my god.
The rehashing of Kofi Mania.
Yeah.
You're just setting yourself up for failure by doing something like that again with somebody else who isn't as popular. Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Did you think about that? The
I
Kofi
would
Mania
argue-
journey was organic. Here, you're trying to make it happen, and that never
I
ends
think
well.
you could make it organic.
It never ends well.
because it was like his effort in the Elimination Chamber match, right? That really got people behind him. What about Xavier's
And
effort?
the fact he was Kofi Kingston.
and the fact that he's Kofi Kingston as well, which is amazing, and he deserved it.
Hey, Woods is Woods, though.
Yeah,
Woods is Woods.
Woods winning the Rumble from the number 1 position.
And
I think that could really like get everybody behind him. You know,
It could do.
it could do.
But it couldn't do at the same time.
I mean, I
because I
guess
don't
not.
think I'm speaking out of turn here when I say Xavier Woods does not get as big as pops as Kofi Kingston does, or did, or will.
Yeah.
But is that tide shifting now as we speak?
I don't know.
Or is that just because Kofi took some time off?
I just don't like the rehashing of it.
That's like that's fair enough. That's fair. That was cheap writing on my behalf.
Oh,
right?
no,
Stop.
Andrew. No,
Just because someone
no.
says no,
Embarrassing.
just because someone says no, it doesn't mean you have to then crap on
no,
yourself.
no.
It's fine.
It's
I
fine.
just want to see something slightly different
Yeah,
to you.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all I've
yeah.
said
No,
there.
that's all right.
I'm not saying you're a bad person.
You know, I was listening to an interview between F1 drivers, former F1 drivers, Jensen Button and Nico Rosberg the other day on Nico Rosberg's wonderful YouTube channel. And they were talking about team bosses being mean to them sometimes. Jensen Button said he finished 7th once at Monaco and he got out of the car and the team boss said to him, "Oh, were you just driving around looking for new flats in Monaco, were you?"
Oh God.
But he realised that maybe he wanted to push him or wanted to, you know, try and bring out the best of him. I feel like that's what Ross is doing to you now, Andrew.
He is doing that to me, and I'm greatly appreciative of that as well.
As you should be.
Yes, thank you, boss, thank you, boss man. Thanks for having me.
I don't know how this has come about. But there we go. I just want to see something slightly different.
Yeah, no, I completely get that.
And that's something slightly different is something better. It's called a New Day triple threat at WrestleMania.
Okay, I'll go for that.
Where they don't fall out, they don't split up, they just have a friendly Donnybrook.
Yes.
A melee.
A melee.
A three-way melee.
tete-a-tete.
Tit-tit-tit.
Just a little
Little
bit
chat.
of conversation.
There'll be some of those in the match.
Yeah, there probably will be.
A lot of tete-a-tetes
Oh,
in wrestling matches,
tete-a-tete.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's my go, isn't it? It's my go.
Yes.
End the obsession with mine. Sorry, mine's more of a thematic one along the lines of Ross's than a specific storyline like yours. But mine is end the obsession with big, sweaty men. I'm sorry if you've. I know it's your thing. I know it's
not
more
my
your,
thing.
No, it's just more your thing, complaining about how Vince loves big, sweaty men. But he does. It's true.
More, I don't know the trademark on that.
No, fair enough. And of course, in recent months, that's become more abundantly clear than ever with NXT 2.0, where these young, talented, not young necessarily, but these talented, athletic, indie, smaller generally guys have been kind of pushed to the wayside. And who's been, pushed the heaviest since then?
Von Wagner.
Von Wagner.
Yes.
And Bron Breakker, who's good, like he's got something about him. So an important disclaimer I'd like to make is that it's not. I'm not banning all big sweaty men. I'm just saying, can we prioritize skill level and potential over sheer size and muscle in the future? Omos is another exception I'd make because he's just so big. Like maybe that's hypocritical, but he's just so massive.
That is an attraction.
That is.
Yeah.
If I was in the airport and he walked past, I'd go, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
But generally speaking, I think that it's a backward step for WWE to reinforce for some reason, especially in NXT, which was the antithesis of that, but reinforce this old 80s mentality. And I think that it's them going against the tide of the entire wrestling business instead. Because if we look over the past sort of maybe like 20 years, 15 years now, with the rise of Ring of Honor and everything, it's all been about, on the indies you can be small and still be a really, really good wrestler, but WWE is the land of the giants. We've met former WWE superstars in person, and almost always they're bigger than you think they're going to be.
Yeah.
Like the ones you think are going to be short are like 6'1" or something. I remember standing next to Hurricane and being like, what?
He's a
How
big
is that?"
boy.
And then I remember, and I
So is
thought,
Paul Heyman.
yeah, Paul Heyman was 6 foot.
Paul Heyman's taller than me and Jack.
Yeah,
No
yeah, he
way.
is. Yeah. He just stands next to Brock Lesnar all the time. No, yeah.
What the hell? That's insane.
It's crazy. My voice has gone a bit weird now.
It's crazy that he's taller than 5'10".
It's absolutely no, but Heyman.
He does look like a solid 5'9" on TV, though, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he?
I couldn't believe it, and I
Yeah.
felt like less of a man. But generally, I think that this policy of big sweaty men, as Ross would wonderfully say, is a backward step, not just in terms of WWE's own product, but just in the general movement of the wrestling industry. And not even a recent movement, like one that, as I say, has been going back several years. So I'd like for that to not be a priority anymore, except in exceptional circumstances.
It's a yes from me, but with a slight tweak.
Okay.
A slight tweak of the lapel. Because in some instances, I mean, you think about back to when you get Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman just throwing each other, throwing massive bombs everywhere. There's nothing quite like that.
Yeah.
But those are two examples of big men who get it as well, who have charisma and who can cut a promo and who can do everything you need to do to be a professional wrestler. The ones that need to go away, and this might be a bit harsh because he's very new, I think. Is
Oh man.
the likes of Von Wagner.
Oh, I thought I had a different name,
Oh no!
Oh, who are you going to
Who are
say?
you saying?
like Shanky or whatever.
Don't speak about the real Slim Shanky like that.
Actually, yeah, he deserves to stay because of that program.
Yeah, but like I'm looking at people like Von Wagner, who are clearly he's one of the leading lights of NXT in the Booker's eyes, I would say. It's clear that watching the show and watching his promos that he's not quite ready to be up there.
Yeah, I'm not saying
beating
that they
Kyle
should
O'Reilly.
get rid of all the big lads. I'm just saying they need
Pick
to
and
be,
choose a bit more.
They need to be more
Yeah.
refined, or at least not pushed over clearly more talented smaller guys. Yeah.
And this isn't writing Von Wagner off to start with, because who knows, he could come good in the future. 'Cause
Yeah.
as we say, I think he is relatively new to the business, not just because he was a football man, wasn't he? The
Yeah,
American
he
football,
looks like
the
it.
gridiron,
Yeah.
all that stuff with the helmets and that. But he's just got no charisma, and he doesn't give you a single reason.
Well, there's no reason for him to be pushed. They've not given us a reason for him to. No.
And he just it just speaks
And
for itself,
also,
Von Wagner.
I was baffled with Von Wagner because he's a big guy, but he's not like they've got bigger guys.
Yeah.
So if he's being pushed solely on his size, then why is it him? I don't know. That's weird.
And to be fair to him, he wrestles well. Like the moves he does, you think, wow, you're good at wrestling.
I imagine
It's
for his experience level, he's very good.
just everything else in it.
Yeah.
That makes up what a wrestler is or a sports entertainer is. I don't like using that phrase, but
And
you know
in,
what I mean.
in this pitch, I'm not saying that these bigger guys can't come good. Like I also said, Bron Breakker's like really good already, but they shouldn't be given an unfair priority
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because they're tall. And
Yeah.
So yeah. But yes.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I say yes as well. As someone who was growing up watching wrestling, I was always more looking forward to watching the matches that had the smaller guys that were really good, the luchadors and everything as well, the cruiserweight division and stuff like that. And I wasn't too fussed about like the big boy slapping meat and everything, but I've grown to appreciate that a lot more as I've grown up with wrestling and stuff. And
It's
and
a
enjoyed it
many-ringed
lot more.
circus.
It is. But at the same time, I absolutely agree with you. Like, I think it's really sad that some people, say like a Ricochet or something, gets pushed to the side who's clearly incredibly good at what he does.
Yeah.
But yet, because he's not a big man, like, he gets pushed to the side and rarely even thought about on the roster and stuff like that. And I think that's such a shame. I genuinely think that's such a shame because you could have him in the main event picture, I think.
Yeah.
At least, you know? And so almost have got that with him versus Brock Lesnar and then him get absolutely squashed. And that was it. That was it for him. That was really sad to see because the idea of a Brock Lesnar works so well with smaller guys as well.
Oh, he has his best matches with smaller guys.
Exactly.
Balor.
And that could have been an amazing match to watch.
Brian,
yeah.
it was a great match.
That could have been an amazing match to watch, and yet we got 5 seconds and that was it. And it's such a shame. And I do think WWE would benefit more from including these smaller people in the top title pictures. I think it probably gets a lot of younger viewers into it a little bit more as well.
Yeah,
you know, like that's the
like
thing.
Rey
like,
Mysterio's got such appeal for kids. Yeah,
Well, and that was it. Like when I was, this is going to sound stupid.
Okay.
When I was younger and when I wanted to be a professional wrestler, I was looking towards the people like Rey Mysterio and stuff.
Yeah,
Because
of
I'm
course.
not like the tallest person or whatever. I'm not the stockiest person and whatnot. And I was like, Rey Mysterio, even though he is a big boy at the same time for being the
Are
size
you
he
quick?
is.
Are you nimble?
I'm nimble.
Whoa.
I'm like the Matrix. I'm
Okay.
like Neo.
Oh, fair
Can
enough.
run dead fast, me.
I
And
believe
like,
it.
and that would inspire me a lot more than it would like the bigger
Yeah.
people, you know. And I think from an audience perspective, like putting smaller people in the title picture could bring
Just variety.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you
Yeah,
need to
sorry.
have a promotion of entirely small nimble
No,
people.
yeah,
It's
but
just
more variety. Yeah, definitely.
And be how tall you are shouldn't be a barrier to how far you can go.
Exactly.
But yeah.
And yeah, so it's a yes from me because I think that would
turned into
benefit
quite
the
a
thing.
serious discussion between the three of us there.
Three grave minds.
I'll move on.
You've got a front row seat.
Richard Tubman.
I'll move on quickly. I'll move on quickly to Ross's second pitch.
This one's called, I understand that releases need to happen, but the way they happen needs to change. So I'm proposing that WWE, much like a football transfer window, make themselves a release window, which I'm proposing would be a week in a quiet part of the year. There's no taxes to pay, like no tax bills coming in. There's no Christmas, no holidays, no nothing. Just a quiet week in a quiet part of the year, and that's where your releases need to happen. Because the way they happen currently, the way they come out of the blue, no matter who you are, storyline being used on TV, not being used on TV, no matter what you've done in the not too distant past, they're very brutal and quite frankly, a little bit inhumane. So I'm proposing a nice part of the year, because I'm thinking of obviously Taya Valkyrie and Johnny Drip Drip both getting released just before the festive period. Nobody needs that, especially a household like that. So a window where not only obviously I'm not putting fans first here, but we get attached to these people, don't we?
Yeah.
And them getting released then makes us feel bad towards WWE. So us knowing it's coming, maybe they'll soften the blow for the fans. But more importantly, it gives the wrestlers time to get their affairs in order if they know maybe, I've not been used on TV for a while. My contract's coming up. Maybe I'm on the brink of being released or whatever. So I'm proposing a week-long period where the releases happen, because I understand it's a business. I understand that rosters need to get sort of changed over from time to time, and fresh faces brought in and older faces told to bugger off and whatnot. But I think just having that happen at a particular point of the year would help everybody, and not less the storylines as well, because obviously we need to avoid instances like Hit Row again, where they're on SmackDown. Tegan Knox, B-Fab signs their contract a week before getting released.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen if we have a little window where that's where the releases happen. And I think, unless it's like exceptional circumstances, if, something bad's happened and someone needs to get out of the company, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about the general sort of like widespread, right, get out, whatever you are, class of whatever, you know what I mean? Big wide releases. So get them done 1 week of the year where everyone knows it's coming, can get their affairs in order and prepare for the worst if that's what they need to do.
It's a no from me, but I've not got a solution. So I don't know how to explain this, but like WWE have really backed themselves into a corner because of the rapid policy change. So you had Triple H signing all these indie guys. Suddenly Vince has gone, no, total 180. Now these releases, as you say, need to happen sort of to clear out the roster because it's just it's bloated. But what? But then the introduction of like a release window kind of normalizes something that really is still very bizarre. So for me, it's a no. But I get totally what you're saying. It's like a fairer way of doing it, and it's fairer to the employees. But I feel like the problem like comes even before that. Like when they hired everybody and then suddenly change. So I don't know. Maybe it's a yes then because we're making the best of a bad situation. I really don't know either way.
I just think the way it happens, it needs to change. It's obviously wrestling in its nature that the contracts that whatever they are, they sign. I don't think you can class them as contracts, can you? In WWE, it's just sort of like, oh yeah, I'll come to your thing for a bit, and you can tell me when to go away whenever you like. So I don't know if that's really a contract, but just just the releasings aren't a new thing, are they? It's obviously historically in wrestling.
True,
it's just
true.
like I don't know how to say it. I was
Maybe
trying to
it's
find
a
a solution.
yes. I'll change it to a yes because it's like I'm blaming you for that. It's like, a release window, preposterous. I'll say yes, but obviously the problem's like more deeply ingrained. I don't know what to do about that.
I give it a yes, and I guess perhaps the contract also needs to change then, doesn't it? So when someone gets something, without a doubt, the contract, you get a set thing. This is how long you've got.
They can't just say, right, you're done now.
Yeah, and then they've given a release window, like you were saying, to sort of sort things out and figure out what's going to happen next for the people that are being released and whatnot. So I'm going to give it a yes because I think that is a much more humane, nicer way to do it, rather than like you were saying, just before the Christmas period or when something important's coming up, off you go, you're gone. And it's so weird because, as you were saying, with the Hit Row stuff, they get called up. Very exciting that they get called up and then cut, and that's just not fair on the wrestlers at all, is it? To almost promise something like you're gonna go far and then cut, done, like that's it, and that's such a shame. for a lot of people. So it's a yes from me.
And in my mind as well, when it comes to the storylines, in my mind, this is how it would work. But we know it doesn't work like that, and they write the shows an hour before the show goes on the air. But they could, in theory, plan ahead months on end for a storyline, and then they know that person's contract's coming up. They're not going to renew them. They can warn them that's going to happen, and then wrap up a storyline with a proper nice, arc, beginning, middle, end.
That would be really good.
Or maybe this is saying how WWE need to change the way they do the contracts, and that them, because I get the feeling with certain AEW people, and I feel bad for bringing them up in this video because it's all about WWE, but it feels like they're bringing people on a contract where it's for a specific period of time, and then once that little contract's up, then they're free to go away, and they know that's coming.
Like, what's he called, man?
Sam Allardyce.
No, not Sam Allardyce. All I can think is the name Matanza because he played Matanza in Lucha Underground. Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb. Of course,
That's a while ago now. But
yeah, it is.
But maybe that's how they should do things from now on. Maybe get the storyline in place, approach a wrestler to fill a role, and then bring them in for a period of time, and then we're all done. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Off anyway. But that's a massive, massive issue I've just brought there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one that needs to be talked about, though.
It's another deep discussion on the podcast.
It is another deep discussion.
On the podcast, on the Pitches video, sorry, excuse me, the lights are green.
And then I move completely away from that right now.
You do?
I guess.
Go on.
And I want to say, in 2022, I want to see more Shayna Baszler, everybody. I want to see more Shayna Baszler. She's had a really good match on SmackDown. We're recording this when? Did we say the 8th of December?
It's the 8th of December.
So the 3rd of December, she had a really good match, I thought, against Sasha Banks. Like, really, really good showing. I think she had a good showing in the Survivor Series match as well. And without speaking too soon, it feels like we could maybe be getting back to some sort of track for Baszler. Maybe we'll see. Maybe that's too much of a.
Do you remember that 3-week period or whatever it was when she was breaking people's arms?
Yeah, but was that to soft reset what she's doing and get away from all the team stuff? Do you think maybe?
But it was then followed up by a period of knout. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then she got drafted, didn't she? Though.
Yeah.
So maybe there was just a thing of time to.
Every
break
time
away
she
from all
did that, I'd come into the office and Aiden, our news writer, would just be laughing.
Really?
At images.
What's wrong with him?
Images and video clips of like Nia Jax or Eva Marie getting their arm broken,
what's
just be going
wrong
like, pretending it's real in his sick little head. No, I think he was laughing maybe at the selling. I don't know. Aiden loved it. Aiden loved it. Aiden loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
It's such a weird maneuver because when she does that and she puts her arm like that, there's a brief
do
window
that.
where they can just go,
move out of the way.
see in a bit, and she just stands the thing. But
No,
I digress.
Andrew, because their
I
wrist
digress.
is bent.
Oh, it's bent backwards.
You can't move all of it at once.
We could
You
say
can't
this
just
about
do that.
every single
We could
move.
literally say that about every
Apart from
single
a clothesline, I'd say.
I
maybe.
digress. So why not utilize Shayna Baszler a little more? A program with Sasha would be amazing, I think, down the line because they had such a good match. And they both proved that they've got great chemistry together in the ring.
Yes.
Not to mention if Toni Storm manages to beat Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title, the matches both Storm and Baszler could have together would be amazing, I think.
It's what you want to happen. Not
It's what I want to happen. It's
Fair
what I want to happen. And they proved that as well in the NXT UK Women's Tournament thing. They had a match for the qualifying and everything, and it was really, really good. So there's history there that you could build off and really start to elevate new stars into the picture, which would be nice to see, please. I want that more to happen in 2022 as well.
Okay.
But Shayna has so much more to give, and this current showing on SmackDown, I really hope is starting to prove that as well. She seems to have sided with Sonya Deville at the moment too, so now's as good a time as ever to really just play into that villainy role and put her into the title pictures a bit more. Have her as a dominant champion backed up by the higher powers and everything. And then that way Shayna can have a moment to dominate and prove herself on the main roster whilst also having someone like Toni Storm have to rise up through everything that's being thrown at her to finally get a triumphant moment too. So build multiple stars in the process and start to shake things up a little bit. Which I think actually, to be fair, in the women's division, maybe on SmackDown at least anyway, they've started to somewhat do. Maybe on Raw a little bit too, with Liv Morgan getting involved in the title picture. I think they're actually starting to shake it up a little bit, which is genuinely quite nice to see.
I don't know how long it'll last, but
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Sometimes we get little hints of, oh, this person could do something really, really cool on the women's roster, and then it just gets taken away. And I think it's about time now that things start to change. Like the guard starts to change, people start passing down the torch a little bit and letting other people have their time in the spotlight.
Who?
Perhaps
Who?
like Liv Morgan and
No, who do you want to see off your screens?
I don't want to see her off the screen. Charlotte Flair.
Okay, right, interesting.
I don't want to see her off the screen because she is a
But she's been
fantastic
dominating
wrestler.
the title
She's
scene
been
for years,
for
yeah,
a long,
yeah,
long
yeah,
time, and it would be nice to see someone else come in and like prove, do you know what, I'm as good as you. I can do what you can do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think Shayna Baszler, her run on NXT was so good. And for her to be moved to the main roster and be like a shell of what she used to be, it's such a shame. And
It's a shame, baby.
it's Shayna Baszler. And I genuinely would just like to see her be a dominant champion. She could very well be a dominant champion. And like I said, with Sonya Deville, maybe Adam Pearce and stuff behind her as well, you could just play into that role even more and just have her on top for a very, very long time. Build her up really strong and then have someone like a Toni Storm or a Liv Morgan come in and finally like dethrone her to make her the next big star.
Okay.
And more Shayna Baszler. I just want more Shayna Baszler. And I guess as we go through this, generally just a lot more shake up in the women's roster and just start building towards new stars and bigger things, I guess. Yeah.
So more Shayna Baszler.
More Shayna Baszler.
More new stars.
More new stars, but more Shayna Baszler.
But more of the established star, Shayna Baszler.
Yes. He's got it.
It's a no from me, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
For one, I agree with your general theme.
Yeah.
Like, the creation of more new stars is always important and everything.
Yes.
But there's just one, I just disagree with it being Shayna Baszler.
Really?
That's not her fault at all. That's nothing.
Okay.
I think Shayna Baszler's a really good wrestler, and her NXT run, as you said, was magnificent. But I feel like I've seen far too much of Shayna Baszler.
Okay.
It's just the way that she's being used that's been crap. But me and Ross recorded a Pitches video recently, and we talked about tier list.
I was going to say, where
This
was
is a
I?
Pitches video.
Where was I?
Second time you've had to correct me. I'm so sorry. We did a tier list recently, and Ross reminded me of when Shayna and Nia were women's tag team champions. They were on all three brands. I think they cropped up on NXT as well.
They did.
I feel like I've seen Shayna like an awful lot this past year, just that it's not been good, which isn't her fault. She's been good, but the booking's been bad. There was that feud with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I just think that your general direction's right. I just think that Shayna needs to have a bit of a fading away before she comes back, because I think personally, I'm just a little bit like, ugh, Shayna Baszler,
Okay.
which again sounds horrible because she's really good and it's not her fault.
Yeah.
But I think you need a different spearhead for your point, in my opinion, right now.
No, that makes sense.
Not that Shayna couldn't do it in a year's time.
Yeah.
Ross.
I'm giving it a yeah. I like Shayna Baszler. I think the way she's been used on the main roster, you know, the sort of the first part minus the vampire bit aside, and the 3-week period we spoke about off camera. I think was it earlier on the video? I can't remember.
I think it might
When
have
she was
been.
breaking people's arms. Yeah, it was on
Yeah,
camera.
it was like about
The
it was
second
5
bit
minutes,
is gone
about
away.
5 minutes ago.
Apart from those two little periods of time, I think it's been really underwhelming on the main roster. So to get her back to an arse-kicking machine that we saw in NXT is something that would be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Interesting.
My second pitch, is quite similar to yours, but it's just more general.
Okay.
And it's better / more diverse storylines for the women's division, which is a point we've all made before, but I just think there needs to be a huge improvement across the board. Because, first of all, I want to ban on the word bitch in feuds, because how many times has it happened this year when they might not have even been in that big of a feud, but two wrestlers have gone, well, you're just a bitch, and everyone goes, oh. And it's you know, the men call each other bitches as well, but the women do it in like, it feels like it's been in nearly every top level feud this year. You're just kind of waiting for it to happen. Also, can we have a tag team, or preferably a group of tag teams that don't break up and are just a tag team? We had that with the Iconics, then they split them up and didn't even do a breakup angle. They just went, oh, it's done now. Oh, did they split? No, they lost a match where they had to break up.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Because. Why not?
I know that WWE's priority clearly isn't tag team wrestling right now,
Yeah.
but why can't they have tag teams that are just tag teams and just are. I don't know how else to explain it, but it feels like they've now lost that idea, and the tag teams are just single stars waiting to happen.
That's literally it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a means for a few
that
to
goes for the
happen.
men's division as well,
Yeah.
apart from like the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah, RK Bro, I guess at the same time. They're kind of like...
But they were 2 single stars first.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
yeah, but I know what you mean. Like, but I can see them breaking up as well.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Randy's getting sick of riddles.
Yeah.
Piddle. Riddles,
Riddles,
piddle.
Riddles, piddle, yeah.
Riddles, piddle, riddles, piddle. But generally, I want more inventive storylines for the women's division as well, because the men in WWE, and it's a like a scattergun approach. Like the storylines, sometimes they'll hit, sometimes they really won't. But generally, they get more varied ideas thrown at them. Whereas the women's division often centers around physical appearance or jealousy,
Bickering.
or bickering.
Yeah, bickering.
And I think that's. I don't want to suggest that that's what Vince McMahon thinks all women are like. But,
think, yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'll just end the sentence there. I don't want to suggest that's what Vince McMahon thinks all women are like. It needs to change really soon, especially because it's been such a regression from like 3 years ago when the women's division was legitimately the biggest thing in WWE for a while. Becky and Charlotte and Ronda all good. The police car, the kick through the door of the police car.
So good.
That was bloody fantastic. So I just want more varied and better storylines for the women's division.
Yeah.
I'd rather they just got rid of the women's tag team titles.
Yeah.
They just don't care about them that much. Just
They've
get
not
rid
got.
of
They've
them.
not got any tag teams.
No,
No,
well, yeah, just get
they
rid of
don't.
them, and then you can focus just more on the ladies' storylines. I agree.
I think, I agree too. Maybe get rid of the women's tag team titles and then maybe put like a secondary title, the women's title.
Yeah,
or something
secondary
in there,
title could work as
which
well.
might work a little bit better rather than literally just putting the tag teams together so they
the
confuse.
Fox title.
The Fox. Yeah.
Who is the Fox of? Oh no.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
No, never
That's
mind.
our pictures video.
It's
Everybody.
not.
No, maybe something like that would be a lot better. But I agree that there needs to be a change in the women's division in terms of storytelling, and yeah, maybe we are kind of starting to get there a little bit, but it could be so much better than it already is.
Yes.
So it's a yes from me. Yeah.
Excellent. Ross, what's your third and final pitch, please?
This one is called Repeats Should Be Left for Dave and Gold and Challenge TV, not WWE.
Repeats.
Rematches.
Yeah.
Rehashed storylines happening at the same time on different shows, which we've seen in 2021. I can't remember the example, but it was something to do with the women, where one thing was happening. It was the women, the tag team titles and the singles title were getting mixed up on both shows at the same time.
Right.
And I can't remember who was involved, but it happened this year. I'm pretty sure.
Often you'll get a Raw and a SmackDown in the same week that have weirdly similar.
Yeah.
Clearly, Vince just had an idea that week, and
This extends to the same finishes and matches, namely the roll-up. Can they coexist tag team storylines? I'm sure there's more. As we all know, variety is the spice of life. And I guess it's another one for just add on to Jack's, not just the women's roster, but the men's as well. Just storylines, storytelling in WWE just needs a kick up the Jacksy. Woo!
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That's the pitch.
That's the pitch.
Repeats. All of them.
Yeah.
Anything that falls under that umbrella, go away.
Yes.
No, I
Yes.
totally agree with it because the product feels so samey right now, doesn't it? It feels like we're going through the same cycles between pay-per-views. The look of it is another part that feels really samey to me as well. You could extend it to the look of the product, like the sterile backstage environments.
Whoa.
Well, why is it so pristine? Why don't they just do it in a corridor like they used to?
Yeah, they used to do that.
Why do they need a set?
Because, yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But no, I fully agree. So it's a
Yeah,
yes from me.
anything that falls under the umbrella of repeats just go away.
Yeah,
Every building looks the same.
it does. Like every backstage area looks the same. It's mental.
Deliberately so.
It's a yes from me as well because I think that is one of my biggest gripes with WWE is that it is week to week we often see the same things, and then month to month we often see the same matches on the pay-per-views as well, and everything just blends into one and nothing feels different. And we get to a point where it's like you feel like you watch a Raw from one week to the next and you're like, I just watched that last week. Like that's literally the same show I just watched. Just maybe with some people shuffling about here and there, and it's like, oh God, I just want to see something new. And I completely agree. Sometimes I guess it could potentially lead into a story like we saw.
Rematches on stories.
No.
Believe
so, like,
me.
They can be.
No,
stories.
no.
I lived through Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin in 2016.
What I mean is, like, so we saw Becky Lynch win with the roll up, hold onto the rope in the Charlotte match and in the Liv
I'd
match
say
as
that's
well.
a callback.
But yeah,
Yeah,
but
they
perhaps
can
it
have
could be building
callbacks.
towards
Yeah.
something a bit more, and something like that is quite. I say subtle, but it's quite glaring
the
what it
very
actually
opposite
is.
of subtle,
It is,
isn't it?
yeah, it's really glaring. But something
But it's
like that,
unsaid. It's show,
yeah.
don't tell. It's show, don't tell.
Yeah,
So,
something
okay.
could lead from
the
that.
rule of stories.
But more often than not, it is literally just a rehash of the same thing.
Look at WrestleMania Backlash. I mean, they called
Yeah.
it WrestleMania
Literally,
Backlash.
yeah.
And there was a lot of rematches heading out of WrestleMania. So,
there was, and which I get for Backlash.
And I'm
you
not
know?
like New Japan, except they've kind of fallen off a bit now, but they use rematches really well because something changes each time and it's like the story's told in the ring.
Yeah.
Whereas WWE just feels like they're filling time.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question to the audience here.
Oh.
If you, like us, or like me, or like, Jack will do it as well, watch every single minute of every single weekly show in WWE, SmackDown and your Raw. Well, there's only two, isn't there?
Yeah, but sometimes I speed it up when I'm
Yeah,
watching it. Yeah.
so do I. But if you watch, do you watch every single second of every single show? I'm just intrigued if people do that because obviously, if you can just sit there and just look at YouTube and pick, oh, fancy watching that, this point will be lost on you. But when you watch every single second of every single of those weekly shows, it really becomes apparent very easily.
Especially Raw.
Yeah.
Raw starts to recap what's happened in the opening segment like half an hour in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's 3 hours long and it needs to fill time.
It does.
Did you watch Ikemen and Gyro at War Games on the toilet, for example?
What a wonderful use of that man.
That's
Yeah.
great, yeah.
Did you have to see him
Nice.
eat all the food though?
Yeah,
He
I
had
did.
2 big things of ice cream,
Yeah.
pizza, then he had a big poo.
Whoa.
That is literally what happened.
I don't
can't
need to
believe that
watch
was a
that.
thing.
That happens when I eat
No, you do,
pizza
'cause he
and-
pulled some
and
funny
ice cream. Oh,
faces.
sorry. I don't pull the
And
funny faces.
he's
when
not
I do
even American.
Yeah.
That's
That makes
crazy.
it twice as
That
funny.
does,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Oh, I forgot
His
about
face
that.
isn't like you and your
Sorry,
eyes. It's-
sorry, guys.
It's very funny.
Of course.
He wears a funny
Yeah,
jacket.
we're American as well. Andrew,
Yes.
I've got it on good authority that your second pitch is all about Ikemen and Gyro. What is it?
Oh my goodness. It's not the second one. It's
Third
the last
pitch.
one now, isn't
Oh
it?
man, thank
God,
you.
what's
That's the
happening,
third time
Jack,
you've
today?
corrected me there. Sorry. I've had 2 beers.
Third time. On the third
Sorry, I've had
pitch.
1 beer.
You've had... Wait, what? Oh,
Break-
yeah, you haven't finished your other one, have you?
breaking the video, Fabe. No, I have finished
Oh,
it
you
now.
finished it now. Cool.
I've had 2 whole beers.
Mine is just a massive shake-up to the pay-per-views.
Say
and
something
Mine
else.
is just
Mine's just...
3/4 of a page. Phil.
No, you see,
No,
it
whole
looks dead.
page, Phil.
I was
It looks
laughing-
dead big,
I was laughing
right?
at the-
But it's really just a little. It's just a little. It's because I've spaced it. You know what I mean? The space is in there, and it
Hold
looks
it up
bigger.
to the camera. If that's space,
From there,
and then that as well.
and then the
Andrew,
tiniest bit after.
Andrew, in exams, were you the guy who's like, "Sir, I need some more paper, sir"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go to uni and they're like, you can't exceed this amount of words, and I was like,
in what?
sweating.
In what exam?
So you could only do what was it? You could do like 10% of the word count. You could do 10%
in
more of the word
coursework?
count in uni and like
Yeah,
essays
coursework.
and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I used to just sweat it out. I used to be like, oh my god, I
Cut
can't
it
do it.
down.
It's because I can't articulate very well, so I'm always like,
course you can. Of course you can,
getting to the
friend.
point. But there's like a giant paragraph of absolute tosh
do you
until
not
we
find
get
it?
to the point.
Do you not find it? This might be just a stupid writer thing to say, but do you not find it quite satisfying to trim a word count and round off your sentences like a smooth pebble on the
I
beach?
try, but I can't.
Oh,
I'm
really?
so bad at it.
Oh, you can learn it. It's
I'm
just
so
good.
bad at it.
No, don't worry.
But yeah, just a massive shake-up to the pay-per-views. I think we don't need the. We don't necessarily need the themed ones. If an Extreme Rules only has one Extreme Rules match on the card.
Oh God, it did.
Yay!
Yeah.
Or a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that has 2 Hell in a Cell matches on it. That just. Oh, Samsung! Oh, we should have waited to see if it went in the corner.
Does this go out on the audio feed? I can't remember. Or is it just Yocho?
It's just, if you're
It
just
goes out on
listening,
the
if you've
audio,
got this,
right?
if you've got another tab
Yeah,
open
yeah.
and you're browsing Wikipedia right now or something, we screamed because the TV went off behind us.
We've been talking
We
for so
overreacted.
long.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a big, I guess, like a shake up to the pay-per-views, and I've done a proposed pay-per-view calendar.
Okay.
Everybody, in which things actually lead up to the next pay-per-view almost. So I was
excited.
thinking about this. I was quite excited about doing this one. Obviously, you get your exceptions to the theme ones like Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank because that does have stakes and it leads to certain things
Yes.
as well. So perhaps keep those things in there, but like in Extreme Rules, you don't need stuff like that. TLC, none of that. Because those matches also now feel not very special, do they? Like,
No.
It would be so good when you'd watch a SmackDown or a Raw or whatever, and someone would be like, next pay-per-view, I'm going to beat you in a Hell in a Cell match or a TLC match. And it'd be like such a spontaneous thing rather
It's
than
so
just
arbitrary
waiting
now. It's so
for
arbitrary.
the specific time in the year that you can have that match.
Yup.
So weird. So my proposed pay-per-view idea is this.
Go
So
on.
January, we start off with day one,
Yeah.
start of the year, perhaps contains some form of gauntlet eliminator match that determines entry numbers for the Royal Rumble.
Perhaps
which
one
is
won
in-
by Xavier Woods. Oh, right.
no,
Okay.
You're making them work New Year's Day.
Well, they're not really working.
It's a no
is
from
it?
me.
No, wait, it's the day one pay-per-view. That what happens.
That's day one.
That's what happens.
You could cancel it.
You can do day 3.
You call it New Year's
I'm keeping
Revolution,
it.
for example, and
I'm
have it on like
keeping
the
it.
first weekend of January.
I'm sure they don't. Maybe I don't know.
Just let him.
Like, well,
It's a no from me. straight
no,
away.
shut up. Right, listen.
Yes, he's
There
done it.
you
He's
go.
doing it.
Day one, start of the new year, perhaps, yeah, it contains some form of gauntlet eliminator match that determines entry numbers for the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Then you have Royal Rumble later on in the month of January. Doesn't need fixing. Men and women's challenges for the world titles at WrestleMania announced, as always.
Yeah.
February, we've still got Elimination Chamber. Always feels like a great way to build to WrestleMania and get the Rumble challenges over. And also a good way to build a challenger for the world title that the Rumble winners don't choose to challenge for. March, nothing. Just let the feuds and
Yes.
storylines build and develop rather than rushing a pay-per-view before WrestleMania. That essentially leads to nowhere and rushes stories along just for the sake of it. April, obviously WrestleMania, self-explanatory, huge payoff for storylines, new champions crowned. May, I've gone for Backlash still. Great way to properly conclude feuds and get past the rematch clause stuff, making way for new challenges. June, Money in the Bank, start building new said challenges with the contract winners. July, nothing, but keep July nothing. Keep July free for the Money in the Bank winners to tease who they want to face next. Plus, have the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments on TV shows, yet have the winners automatically get a major title shot at SummerSlam.
Okay.
So then August, we have SummerSlam. King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring winners get the title shots. September, I was thinking a night or a Clash of Champions. Night of Champions is a great way to showcase new champions, if any are crowned at SummerSlam, following the King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring challenges. And Clash of, I think, is a better way to begin building brand warfare for Survivor Series and keeps the champion v champion stuff away from Survivor Series as well. October, nothing. Build more compelling storylines towards Survivor Series. Off of Night or Clash of Champions, create feuds that matter and have more substance than the one night only. These brands go head to head, obviously. And November, Survivor Series. It's the final pay-per-view of the year. Blow off from September's pay-per-view of Night of Champions or Clash of Champions. Add stakes to the team matches. Sole survivor of each team gets a shot, gets a title shot at day one. If there's any multiple winners on the team, then they have to fight on their respective shows the week following the pay-per-view to determine the next contender.
Love
and
that.
then just rinse, repeat. And that's it for the pay-per-views. Like, have each pay-per-view mean something to lead up to the next pay-per-view. Have stakes, have breaks in months where things can just naturally build as well. And then that's the proposed pay-per-view calendar from the mind of this specky egg. Right
Andrew,
here.
you've gone. There was 2 routes there.
Mhm.
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and
Yeah.
you've taken the road less taken. No, you've gone for evolution rather than revolution.
Yes.
So I don't think you've thought outside the box, but what you've done within that box is definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
I love the Survivor Series title contender stuff, and I love King of the Ring leading to a shot at SummerSlam as well,
Nice.
and Queen of the Ring as well.
Nice.
So I'm giving it a yes.
Thank you.
I see that October has nothing.
October's got no.
Was it
That's
July
one.
that had nothing?
July has
You
nothing as well.
explained the July break. You said that,
I
yeah.
explained the July break.
But you're
too.
still making them work New Year's Day.
No, I'm not making them work New Year's Day. That's Vincent Kennedy McMahon
No,
that's
you've
making
just
them.
cancelled 2 of his pay-per-views, so you can
Excuse me.
cancel them.
Actually, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it can build up to something towards Royal Rumble, though.
Why not have it on the first weekend of January? Why New Year's Day? Ruin everyone's
Well,
plans.
I didn't.
Huh?
I didn't.
Huh?
Oh no, I guess day one is specific.
Is
Well,
morale
day
nothing
one,
to
isn't
you
it?
in the locker
Nah,
room?
I hate it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
It's a yes apart from that.
Thank you.
Major gripe. Major massive gripe.
Thank you so much.
My final pitch is a selfish one, really selfish, but you know, it's the last pitch of the video. Who cares? Who cares, guys? I'm going to say that WWE, and it was one that I was going to pitch in the AEW one, but then I realized they want to do it anyway. It's the WWE should do a pay-per-view in the United Kingdom. And not a rebellion, not an insurrection, I forget how it's spelled every time. No, it needs to be a proper one. And I'm not necessarily calling for it to be SummerSlam. We all seem to be obsessed with the idea of SummerSlam coming to the UK. Probably because, but it's 2022.
It's the anniversary, right?
But it doesn't need to be. I think it's asking quite a lot, isn't it, for them to dedicate one of their big four to a UK pay-per-view. But what WWE have proven, rightly or wrongly, in the past couple of years, is that they can hold shows in Saudi Arabia, Australia, huge stadium shows that have more effort put into them, at least production-wise, than everything apart from Mania, which is
but
bizarre.
why?
Money.
Because people buy them.
Yeah.
We need a rich man from the UK to buy a show for the UK.
Okay.
That's what we need.
Alan Sugar. And he could do a skit on the show. It would be brilliant.
It'd be great, that.
It's the bloody apprentice.
But my thought is, and I know a lot of people were saying they wanted Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury. That was the rumor. I know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. I think.
Would you want that? Nah.
I'd want it just to see what happens.
Would you?
Yeah, just
Tyson
to see.
didn't fill me with much intrigue
No.
in Saudi Arabia.
What do you mean he got up off that giant slam that Braun Strowman gave him?
Right, what else did he do?
Yep.
Well, he came out to James Brown.
His entrance was the best part by a mile.
Yeah.
Stealing a dream of yours, I
Do
imagine.
what you want to do.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't your song, was it? What was your entrance music?
The boss.
What was his? Another James Brown song.
Yeah. Is it James Brown?
Is that not
It's your
James
thing.
Brown?
I don't know,
Which
Richard.
one? Sing
It's
it.
your thing. Do what you want to do.
It's not, is it?
I can
Oh,
feel
man,
it.
that's not even...
Right,
Is that James Brown?
I don't know.
People
I don't
are
think
going
it is.
wild at
I'm
home.
not sure.
Oh, no, I've mixed up my soul singers. Anyway.
It was Diana Ross who did that one for Tyson Fury.
Yeah. WWE pay-per-view, have a NXT UK takeover the night before, because as much as we don't really care about NXT UK, nor have we been given much reason to, the takeovers have been good. So I think that have a takeover the night before, but have the pay-per-view like full of moments tailored to the British crowd. Have celebrities show up. Have Wayne Rooney show up again. Maybe not Wayne Rooney. But why do we not get that money? You've answered. The problem is you've taken the steam out of my pitch because you answered it within seconds at the start. So
your pitch actually is to any billionaire, trillionaires watching. Is there no? Elon Musk's the first trillionaire, isn't he?
is he?
Well, going to be very soon because of this new thing he's launched.
Well,
You'll know
I'm
what it's on
pitching it
about.
to any.
What is it, Richard?
Shiba coin.
Is it? No. I thought you would know.
Aren't you a crypto bro?
He's a crypto bro.
He is a crypto bro. But we need the pitch is to a billionaire just to buy a pay per view for the UK.
Yeah. Okay. That.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take
Please.
that. I'll take that then.
I mean, yeah, I want to see a UK pay-per-view.
Let's go.
But
Yow.
big time. Yeah,
We'll
I want to see UK
we'll all go
pay-per-view.
down to this imaginary pay-per-view.
No, it won't. We'll sit up here and cover it for our jobs.
Yes.
I can see it not being a major pay-per-view one. Mainly, I say mainly because of this, but obviously the time difference, like the way it'd be broadcast to American audiences and stuff.
That's a thing, isn't it? SummerSlam was in the evening for the UK, but you couldn't have possibly avoid spoilers now, could you, with the internet?
No, that's it.
You could in 1992, yeah.
So I guess maybe
It's like Home Alone versus Home Sweet Home Alone.
yeah. I guess the only way for
I've not
it,
seen it yet.
have you not?
How have they
Apparently,
dodged-
it's really bad.
How have they dodged the modern day technology of everything?
That's a good question.
It makes sense in 1992.
It did, didn't it? But now,
Now
when you've got all the security locks
Ring
and
camera,
everything, yeah.
FaceTime.
You
You're
get
fine, aren't you?
You in the night time, you get like the cats going up to the camera and it sets it off, and you see your cat's fit. It's good. It's
Yeah.
so good. I don't know what I'm on about.
What do you think of that pitch?
Yeah, I really liked you, but I think the only way we could see a UK one happen, a UK pay-per-view happen, is if it's in like the same kind of vein as a Saudi show in terms of like that's on.
non-canon.
Yeah,
Except the last one really was, but
What I've
Yeah.
said
I know what
about
you
5
generally mean,
times.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
But that's the only way I could really see
Yeah, fair
that
enough, fair
happening. But I mean, I'd love to go. I mean,
Don't you give it a yes just because I've said it?
I know, because
Don't you do it? I can
I've
sense that
never
you're-
been. I've never been to
Never been to
a
what?
WWE pay-per-view. I've been to shows and stuff, but
There we go.
to actually
And
be able
I'm
to
bringing
go
it-
to a
I'm making it
pay-per-view, you're
happen.
making it happen,
Come
and
on,
I
guys.
applaud you for that, and I would love to go. But as Ross said, we're probably just sat here just watching it anyway. So,
We'll have it in Newcastle.
but we can pretend. We can pretend. We'll have it in Newcastle.
We'll have it in the academy.
We'll have it. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, please. So it's a yes from me because personally, is obviously someone from the UK. I would love to see that and experience it for the first time. So
Yeah.
Well, tough.
are we not having it?
You picked a job to cover wrestling for a
I
living.
did. That's true.
therefore taking your privilege away to enjoy the wrestling you cover.
Thank you. Thanks, boss.
And on that sunny note, on that wonderful optimistic note,
Hey, did he give one? Did you say?
Oh.
What did you say?
Oh, yeah.
You said yeah?
Yeah, the pitch was that we'd need a billionaire to come and buy us
Oh,
a pitch.
yeah.
Ross-
Of course, yeah, sorry.
Ross said yes, but changed my pitch entirely to make it better.
Yeah.
So, it was fair.
Make
to make it more
sense,
accurate. Make it, yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, exactly. On that wonderful note, though, thank you very much for watching this Pitches video. This has been 9 Pitches for WWE in 2022. Thank you to Ross and Andrew for joining me on this quite deep journey at times.
Yeah.
We
And
discussed some
hostile.
important
And
issues.
hostile.
We got a bit hostile.
Towards the end there,
We
yeah.
drank some
guess.
beer as well.
Yeah.
Leave your thoughts and opinions in that comment section down below, and keep an eye out for all of our wonderful content coming up this month as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.